So for my project, I ended up making a little mini record model player. I've got it right here. Actually, it's fairly small. So for just a basic overview, let me just make this full screen. It's scaled down. It's a 6x4x2 model. The aesthetic I went for was a 70s and 80s rock and roll aesthetic. It has a motor driven turntable on the inside, and it has a knob on the front that I can control the speed of the spin. So for my aesthetic, I got some inspiration from mainly Pink Floyd and Eddie Van Halen. Pink Floyd's one of my favorite bands ever. I really like their Dark Side of the Moon and Wall albums, so I decided to incorporate those into my project with this obviously the Dark Side of the Moon on the top lid, and then on the front and back I did a brick wall design. And for Eddie Van Halen, he's my favorite guitarist. So I did his guitar design on the left and right side as well. My specifications, I basically wanted it to be recognizable, all the aesthetics on there, especially for people who know what they are, just to have people reminisce and connect with the project. I wanted the motor to be working, which it does at the moment. I actually snapped off the turntable, so it actually doesn't spin the turntable right now, but if you press the little knob in, I don't know if you guys can see the motor turn in there, and that can control the speed as well. Go faster, slower, and then clicking again turns it off. I wanted some pops of color. I kind of wanted to be simple, but have those pops. So I think the choice of the Dark Side of the Moon with the bright rainbow colors on there was a choice I definitely wanted to make. The knob speed control I wanted to work as well, just had an interactive aspect to this project, and rather than just have it sit there, be something you can interact and move. And then I wanted a lid to kind of protect everything going on the inside. So these were kind of my initial drawings on the left. At first, I was going to have a lot more aesthetics and designs on there, but I think once I started doing it, I kind of wanted to keep it more simple and just really focus on a few and make sure those were really good. And on the right is my initial CAD design for the project. Basic timeline was mainly just brainstorming. Then I bought all my parts, did a CAD model, 3D printed, built my circuit, and then painted the entire thing. So basically shopping, I got motors, little Arduinos, the knobs, and then a bunch of wires. I was going to put LEDs on this, but those ended up running into a little issue with shipping, so they actually haven't come on time. But I hope to have those in by the expo. CAD model was basically just the three separate parts, filleted corners, brick design, and a 0.1 inch thick wall thickness. For the 3D printing, it was a 13-hour print with white PLA. I actually ran into 2 failed prints, which was pretty unfortunate. So this was definitely one of the more frustrating aspects of my project. I had to make some edits on the model, but in the end, I think it turned out pretty well. For the circuit, built a few circuits on the breadboard just to make sure everything was working, and then I went into the IdeaForge and soldered it all together. It's kind of a mess down on the bottom, but a lot of circuitry going on in there. And then just came down to painting. I used a lot of painter's tape to really make sure the lines were straight and that it looked clean and slick. In conclusion, I had to change things from my initial design. Couldn't get my LEDs in time, unfortunately, but I hope to add those later. Fix the actual turntable, make sure that's mounted on there securely this time, and then permanently mounting the circuits in there once I get those LEDs on there, and then maybe building a little bit of mini records to put on here that can spin around. That's really it. I guess for a question for you guys, I was thinking of, as of right now, the lid kind of just comes off. But I was thinking of adding a hinge system, so it opens and stays on there. But I didn't want to really kind of cut off a lot of my aesthetics. Just was wondering if that's something you guys would think would look good, um, or what you guys think on that.